Guys, welcome to this week's podcast episode. I'm really excited about today's guest, Michael, from based out of Toronto. He's founder and CEO of Keyspire, and today's talk is going to be all about bread and butter for the audience out there, physicians. We're going to be talking about real estate, finances, investing. You know the drill. Michael, welcome.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, like I said, this audience is mostly doctors interested in, like I said, real estate is one of those number one side income streams. So kind of talk about your journey, how you came to it, and we'll get more into it.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. When I heard that your audience was a group of physicians and doctors, I was super excited to be here because I have a really interesting story that crosses over with probably your story and a lot of the people that are here watching. And I gotta say, I find doctors to be almost magicians. I'm like an amateur, health buff. I love learning all the latest research and science. So what you guys do is absolutely amazing. We coach a lot of professionals with Keyspire, and a lot of doctors will come up to me at our events and afterwards, and they'll say, Michael, I'm so glad you introduced me to, we do real estate. I'm so glad you introduced me to real estate investing. We don't learn that. We spend a decade in school and we learn all kinds of things, but no one ever teaches us the financial, what seems like wizardry in terms of how to build your portfolio and your wealth through real estate. So I absolutely love working with physicians and all the professionals, in that same pedigree. My story is interesting, Chris, because when I started, I was in first year university. So my company, Keyspire, we coach people. What we do is we put people in control of their future by removing the mystery of real estate investing. That is our purpose. Put you in control of your future by removing that mystery that is real estate investing. And so when I was 20 years old, it was all a mystery. And I was going to the University of Guelph. It's in Canada, just outside of Toronto. And I was in the pre-med program. So my goal was always to be a doctor. I was so excited. I wanted to be an emergency room doctor, and then I wanted to be, get into some specialty with brains or other organs. I don't know, it was so fascinating to me. So my first year I was in pre-med, and it was a lot of work. And I know everyone's laughing at me because first year of your undergrad is nothing compared to what you've done, but it was a lot. At the time, there was no free time. I realized, okay, I wanted to be a doctor for three reasons. I wanted to be wealthy. I was 20 years old, so it was about the money and the cars to a certain degree. I loved helping people, and I just got this high up of giving to people and adding value, I guess you could say. And I loved the science behind it. So because of these three things, I knew that was the career for me. But then I also realized that I couldn't pay for my school. I couldn't pay for any of my school. I was paid for my first year. I was in debt. I say I didn't have no money. I had less than minus money. And my parents, I came from a good middle class home. I didn't have a hard upbringing. My parents were middle class, very supportive parents, but they were right in that point where it was hard to qualify for student loans, but I didn't have the money to have it all covered to get the free ride from home. It's kind of like this middle ground. So I had to do something different. I had to earn money, and more money than I could just earn as a waiter at the restaurant. So I did a bunch of research, and I realized that through history, the wealthiest people have been involved in real estate. Unless you win the lottery or start a tech company and you get lucky, if you want a more sure route, it was real estate. I didn't have any money for a down payment. I had no way to buy property. So I had to do something. I did something very interesting. I had to make a decision going into my second year. Chris, do I continue and go to medical school, or do I get into real estate? Okay, now, it's a crazy thing. My parents were very supportive, but try going to your parents in second year undergrad and saying, Mom and Dad, I don't want to be a doctor anymore. I want to renovate homes. They were like, right, crazy? Like, it's the dream career is being a doctor. It is one of the most prestigious things that you can do. I just want to fix houses. Like, it was so funny. Anyway, they supported me, and I got into real estate. And the reason I made the decision, it was really a financial decision because I love doing both of them. But Chris, I did something really cool. I mapped out a 10-year outlook. Okay, if I were to go to medical school for the next 10 years, what does every year look like financially? And if I were to buy just one property, what would that look like over 10 years? And I got to tell you, I show the graphs at some of my events, and 10 years of medical school, it's like the number goes down a little bit every year as I would have to borrow to pay for it. And my real estate portfolio would just grow. And for me, that was kind of like the really put me over the edge. And when I say this at my events and seminars, I see like the doctors, I say, guys, gals, you're amazing. And I somehow came to this conclusion. I got lucky, or else I would be here with you trying to learn how to invest in real estate because I'm an expert at fixing people. I just fix houses. You fix people, right? And I always have a doctor come up to me at the end and say, look, Michael, that was really insightful. I'm in my early 30s and I'm still in debt. I'm still working to get out of it. So I need real estate to build this wealth faster. And so anyway, that's where my story kind of crosses over in terms of I had this crossroads, but I always have this dream, Chris, that I'm going to be a doctor one day. I'm going to go back to medical school. But there it is.
No, it's interesting. What's interesting is there's this article where recently there's uproar among my colleagues and friends that were saying like a UPS driver makes like 108, driving, and then like a doctor struggling, and if like a UPS driver is like investing in UPS stock from age 22, he'd be a millionaire much faster than, and there's like this huge uproar. But fact of the matter is, your time does not scale. So you have to find things that scale your time, like investments or company. Not to say income is not bad, but there's faster ways, which you seem like you discovered. So kind of a side note is, with this pre-med thing, are you advocating for your kids or your offspring to go into medicine or finances and investing?
You know what? That's a totally different beast. I advocate for them to do whatever they love. I mean, I'm a big believer of unique ability. My coach tells me about unique ability. And whatever you absolutely love doing and you're the best at, I think that's what you should do. And if it's medicine, fantastic. If it's real estate, that would be really cool because that's what I do. If it's, my oldest is 9. He loves coding and building video games online. That's his calling. My youngest is 6, and he loves being outside working with animals. So I don't think you can choose when it comes to your kids, Chris. I think you can just kind of go with the flow.
Yeah. No, I just had to ask that because like a lot of my friends' parents, they were entrepreneurs. Like they had businesses, and then but then they told their kids, don't go into business, go into law or medicine or, investment banking or something, which is...
I would love it. If my kids went to medical school, Chris, I'd go with them. I told my wife a couple of years ago, I got kind of inspired to go to medical school again. And I said, why don't we just go, we'll live in residence, it'd be kind of fun. I'm 43 years old, so it'd be kind of an interesting little exercise, demographics. But I think if my kids said, I'm going to go, I'd be like, I'll go with you because I've always wanted to do it. But it's kind of a fun little pipe dream.
Yeah. Well, so what's your real estate strategy? Like, some people do multifamily, some are apartment, commercial, some are private equity. How do you what's your strategy?
Yeah. So what we do is, when we're coaching our members, we always start with the big picture. The very first question we ask, and what I want everyone to think about is, what is your lifestyle freedom day? We call it lifestyle freedom day. That's the day where you can do whatever the heck you want. So retirement is a bad word around my organization. We're not allowed to say retirement because retirement literally means to no longer be of use. I don't think anyone here wants to retire. So we don't say retirement. It starts with retirement is a bad word. We are going to have a lifestyle freedom day. We're going to have a day where we have lifestyle freedom. We do whatever we want. For some people, that's continue to work because they love it. For some people, that's quit their job. For some people, it's travel. It's different for everyone. Me, I've had Lifestyle Freedom Day now for since 2005, so how many years that is, and I work harder than ever. I absolutely love doing stuff like this and adding value. So it's not about retiring and sitting on the couch and watching Netflix. It's about, the first thing we teach is it's about having this day, this Lifestyle Freedom Day, which is your end goal. And once we can teach our members how to create that Lifestyle Freedom Day end goal, make it tangible, we have a tool called the Lifestyle Designer, where people actually design their life exactly how they want it, and then live lifestyle first. And then the second part of that, Chris, is to earn the income you need to get to your Lifestyle Freedom Day. So if you need 110,000 or 210,000 a year, or 300 or 50,000 a year, the strategy is to then use real estate to reach that number in passive income.
Yeah, I like that.
So
It's all about. So it sounds like you help clients understand this. Kind of talk about how your the approach to your program is. How can how long is it? Kind of the mechanics. What do they learn? What can they expect to get out of it?
Yeah, so one of the first things we'll do once we have this lifestyle freedom day, let me walk you through a little bit of a process. So if I was coaching somebody here that was watching, I would say first it's the lifestyle freedom day. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to create a portfolio across 3 investing streams. So the question about, people ask, well, do you like to flip properties? Do you like multi-residential? Do you like apartment buildings? Do you like commercial? That comes way later. Nobody can answer that question until they go through this process. Nobody should ever answer that question. I like apartment buildings. Well, why? How does that drive your goal? How does that drive your investor activity lifecycle, which is another tool that we use for our members? So once we have Lifestyle Freedom Day, we are going to look at the 3 investing streams. That is property. That's what most people are familiar with, investment property. It's private lending. So becoming a private lender and actually lending out your money at 10 to 12% and getting the return, being the bank. And the third is private equity, investing your money in a deal that somebody else is doing all of the work. Whether it's individual private equity, say me and you were going to partner, Chris, and I was going to put in all the money and you were going to do all the work. That's one way to invest in real estate. Or, Chris, if you and I and a group of 100 doctors were going to put in $100,000 each and invest $10 million into a development project and earn those returns, that's also private equity investing. So the second thing we'll do is we'll teach our members, we'll walk them through these 3 investing streams, and we'll figure out what the best investing stream is for them. Because there's no better investing stream than the other. It's what's the best for you. If you're a young college guy like I am, if you're a young college guy like I am, I wish. If you're a young college guy like I was, and you got no money, and you got time on your hands, you got no kids, no family, you should then do the property investing stream because you have more time. You have more energy. You can work the late nights. If you are like I am today, I got 2 young kids. I run multiple businesses. There's other things I love to do right now other than renovate properties at midnight. Then that person, the better investing stream is the private lending and the private equity, so they can be a little bit more passive. So that will be the strategy. The tactics are different. That'll be the strategy, Chris. It's Lifestyle Freedom Day, and then which investing streams make up your portfolio.
Yeah, I love that. Very interesting. End later on with how they can contact you and find out more about details. And I'm always curious. I always love to hear people's viewpoints on the economy and, with interest rates. And some people are saying, we're bordering on a recession, we're bordering on a boom. And then like they say that Canadian real estate is overvalued. There's a property bubble. What are your thoughts on all of this, the conflicting messages?
Yeah, I think, high level, you're in trouble if you don't know what you're doing, no matter what's happening. There's certain parts of the economic cycle where you could invest in real estate or invest in a stock or invest in whatever. At one point you could invest in Bitcoin if you picked the right moment in time and looked like a genius, which is, for me, Bitcoin is the casino. I'm a real estate guy. So Bitcoin, crypto is as far off base from being in control of my future as you can possibly get. Then there's the stock market, and then there's the casino, then there's the stock market, and then there's real estate. So I think it's always scary when you don't have confidence. And how do we get confidence? We have to learn. We have to practice. And so no matter what market you're in, you need to first start by building that confidence, learning the underlying principles, practicing. I always tell people, I'm so unconfident when it comes to doing dentistry. If I were to do a root canal tomorrow, I'm not confident. It's not because the root canal is a scary thing to do. It's because I've never learned. And so with the real estate market, it's the exact same thing. It's nothing to do with the market out there. It has everything to do with each individual person and what they know and how they've set themselves up for success. Their knowledge, the tools that they have, and then the support that they have. And once you have that foundation, then you can start asking the questions, okay, what tactical moves should I be using in this market right now in order to drive my strategy? And of course, my strategy aligns with those 3 investing streams I talked about.
Yeah, I love that. And it's all about financial knowledge and financial literacy. And then you have to understand the macroeconomic cycle, where we are, the business cycle, the really conflicting times. That's why it's good to be armed with knowledge and, get mentorship and all of that. The other, yeah, the other question is this idea of talking about, kind of this power of financial knowledge and financial literacy, and kind of I know you've had, success from different clients, and how you give back, kind of ended on that, and how people can contact you and reach out to you.
Yeah, I think well, in terms of there's a couple of parts of giving back. There's for profit and not for profit. And I believe that you can run a for profit business. You can still make money, be compensated for your time and your value add, while still giving back to the world. That is still giving back. You've got to get paid. Your team has to get paid. There's expenses in the world. As far as the charitable giving back, I do want to address this, because there's one thing that I've done that just works so great. Every time that we have a family party or a kid's birthday, what we do is, instead of getting presents, we set up a little fundraiser, and all of the kids, they donate. All of the families, instead of my kids getting all these little toys, we donate. We raise thousands of dollars, and we donate that we go to Children's Foundation to feed children in schools that don't have the means to pay for their food. That's how we give back on the non-profitable side. But on the business side, I've aligned the business to do one single thing, is to put people in control of their future. So when they see me 5 years from the day that they became a member, they're going to say, Michael, thank you for putting this together. That's my goal, Chris. Thank you for putting this together, because the amount of money I invested with you, it's come back 10 times. And more importantly, I'm confident, I'm centered, my family is centered, and I just have a better view of my future. And so how we do that, there's ways that we help people for free. We have a free masterclass that we run. My business partner is in Keyspire. My business partner is Scott McGilvery, the income property guy. His show, Income Property, is on over 40 countries. It's been on for over 15 years. And he has created a masterclass on behind the scenes, exactly what happens with income property. So that's one way that we give back. We do that for absolutely for free. And anyone who wants to join can go to our website and just hop onto that masterclass and get started.
Yeah, I love that. And let's thank Michael for coming onto the show, talking about the power of real estate to achieve financial freedom. And for people, it's different. It's not just a single number. It's all about understanding, putting it together, and creating a plan and strategy, for your future. All of his resources will be in the links and show notes. All of his social media is Keyspire as well, and be sure to check him out and check out his group as well. And with that, thanks so much for coming onto the podcast.
Chris, thanks for having me. I had a great time, and I hope we added some value.